Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Laura Arroyo, State Certified Interpreter and previously sworn.
Thank you. Please ask him to put the headset on and do a sound check.
Yes, Your Honor. Connection is established.
Sir, you have a public defender. Counsel, this is a case where I found PC on the count 1 for sexual battery on a child or on a person between 12 and 17 by a person over the age of 18. I found probable cause only for count 1, as I said. I did not find it for counts 2 and 3. However, I see a supplemental, and I do find probable cause for that. I'll keep him held at no bond. Is that what the state would like?
Yes, Your Honor.
And defense, I assume you're reserving your right for an Arthur hearing.
Yes, is this a punishable by life offense? Is that the reason?
Yes.
Status?
Thank you, sir. Mr. Elvis Contreras, you're to have no contact with anybody under the age of 18. You're being held at no bond. You have an attorney. No contact with the victim or the victim's family. The next case, I think we need.
Your Honor, I'm
Chief-
sorry. Can you advise the defendant that he has an immigration hold?
Oh, sure.
Señor, usted tiene una orden de retención en contra de usted por inmigración.
Were we able to obtain a? Okay, we're gonna do a standby. Any other Spanish cases? Any more Spanish cases? Cochilla is a different dialect. Edison Firmino, he's not Spanish? Okay, thank you. We'll pass those. I'll go ahead and disconnect from the interpreter.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, before you disconnect, could I please have the case number for the gentleman
Yes.
I just did?
I apologize. 22 CF 2116 AO.
And his name was? I'm
His
sorry?
name is Osvaldo Alba Contreras.
Thank you. Interpreter
Ryan,
will disconnect.
thank you. Ryan Austin is next. We'll do the special language after I get through the docket because language line takes a while to connect to. Good morning. What is your name?
Ryan Martin?
Mr. Martin, you're here for felony charges in case 2022 CF 2177. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, please.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. State, do you have a victim or witness available?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll appoint a public defender. State defense, you agree on
My only, if I may, Your Honor, my only probable cause issue would be on count 1 if the alleged push rises to the level of child abuse. If not, I would have you release some ROR. If the court does,
you could what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
if the court does not find probable cause, request ROR.
I do find probable cause, as I said. State, do you have a witness present?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, he is entitled to bond conditions, so I'll go ahead and go through your monetary bond. And I've considered, how long have you lived in Florida?
I don't live in Florida, I live in New York.
So I am going to give you monetary bond. On the child abuse charge, I'm going to set your bond at $2,500. Resisting officer without violence, $100. Battery, I'm sorry, $150. Battery, domestic, $100. Battery, $100, and disorderly conduct, $100. So your total bond is $2,950. You're to have no contact with the victim of the case. You must maintain a separate residence. You can't go where the victim works, and you're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do have any weapons, they need to be surrendered to local law enforcement, whether that's here or in the Bronx. And you're not to possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs. Your attorney can further advise you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
No, because he's, what? Cade McGowan is next, 2022 CF 2204AO. Are you Cade?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you?
I'm 20 years old, Your Honor.
Mr. McGowan, you're here for charges of criminal mischief as well as battery, domestic violence.
Yep.
Mr. McGowan, would you like a public defender to help you with your case? That's a lawyer.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint a public defender to help you. You are entitled to some kind of bond or release conditions. Ma'am, I'm not sure which of you is a witness. If it's both of you, please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God? Please state your name for the record.
Everly Pribble.
And how do you know Mr. McGowan?
It's my, I'm sorry, grandson.
He's your grandson. Is Coral, are you Coral?
I'm her mother.
You're
That's
Coral's
my
mother.
son.
How old is Coral?
She's 17.
Okay. Ma'am, do you have concerns about Cade having contact with your daughter or his grandmother?
No,
How do you feel about that, grandmother?
Correct, same.
You want him to come home?
Yes,
Are you in fear of him in any way?
no,
Are drugs or alcohol a factor in any of this?
no,
You'll need to answer out loud, ma'am.
oh, no.
And do you know if he owns any weapons?
Like pocket knives, but no. nothing.
Okay,
Coral doesn't live at the residence with him.
all right. Where does Coral usually live?
With me. He lives with my mother.
All right. Do you think he and Coral need to have contact?
Yeah, I think it's fine, but they're gonna keep their distance, but I think it's fine.
All right, so this is a court order on you, sir. I'm going to put you on pretrial release. You're to have no hostile contact with your grandmother or Coral.
Yep.
If you own any weapons, including those pocket knives or anything else, they need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 3 hours of your release.
Yes, ma'am.
No hostile contact means you can't do anything to harm, threaten, scare, or intimidate them. If you do, it will be a violation of the court order.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you, ma'am. Do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Mr. McGowan, any questions for me?
Yes, Your Honor. Do I have bail?
You do, I'm putting you on straight pretrial release. You'll have to check in once a month, but you don't have to post any money. I think it's about, I think the supervision fee is about $40.
I've never been arrested before. I'm not exactly certain.
So you're going to be released today. I don't think there's any holds. If not, contact the public defender's office here in Orange County.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, can you give me the case number, please?
2022 CF 2204. Next case number is 2022 CF 2153. Sir, what's your name?
Rodolfo Sarmiento.
Mr. Sarmiento, you were arrested for aggravated assault, dating violence, as well as false imprisonment with a weapon. Sir, do you need a public defender? That's a lawyer to help you with your case.
Yes.
I'm going to appoint the services of the public defender based on your criminal history and the facts of this case. I'm going to give you monetary bond plus some conditions. On count 1, the aggravated assault, I'm going to set that bond at $3,000. On the false imprisonment with a weapon, I'm setting the bond at $150 for a total of $3,150. You're to have no contact with the victim, must maintain a separate residence. I'll give you a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. And you're not to possess any weapons. Any weapons need to be surrendered within 3 hours of your release. Again, and that will conclude your first appearance. Sir, what's your name?
Jose Villasaro.
Is that spelled Villatoro?
V as in Victor, yes.
Do you want a public defender to help you with your criminal charges for false imprisonment and battery, both domestic violent in nature?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the services of a public defender. Can you swear her in, please?
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, to help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Janice Morales.
Ma'am, how do you know Jose?
He's my boyfriend.
Do you live together?
Yes.
And are you in fear of him?
I'm sorry?
Are you afraid of him?
Yes.
Do you want him to live separately from you?
Yes.
Do you know if he has any weapons?
No.
And were drugs or alcohol involved in this incident?
Yes.
State defense, any questions for the witness?
Nothing from the state.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, based on your history and the facts of this case, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $3,500 for the charge of false imprisonment and $100 for battery domestic violence for a total of $3,600. You're to have no contact with her. You cannot contact her for any reason whatsoever. You must maintain a separate residence. She can stay where she is. You're not allowed back there with the exception of a one-time return from with a police officer escort. You're not to possess any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 3 hours of your release. Everything okay? Within 3 hours of your release. And I'm also going to require that you undergo testing through the pretrial release program, not putting him on PTR.
I understand.
So testing through the pretrial release program.
May I say something?
Can I ask you one question, then I'll allow you to ask me a question? Is it alcohol and drugs, or one or the other, or both?
Both.
Okay. So I'm also ordering that you not possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs. Random alcohol testing can begin at any time. Drug testing can begin within 30 days, and that's at your expense. If you test positive for any of those substances that are not prescribed, you will be violating your terms of your release. Yes, ma'am.
I'm already moved from the place, so I'm not living where I am. So I'm back home with my mom.
Okay, so you moved out,
Yes.
and you're gonna stay with your mom.
Yes.
And do you have all your belongings already?
Yes, ma'am.
You need to answer out loud.
Yes.
Okay, so he's okay to go back to the
Yes.
residence. All right, you don't need any more time to clear out?
No.
Okay, so you can go back to that residence, but you can't go to where she's living. I'll modify that. Your attorney can explain what all that means. Ma'am, do you have any questions for me?
No. Thank you.
Good luck to you. Thank you, Mr. Villatoro.
Thank you.
Yes. Ms. Carestis will work your case in. Brandon Clearman?
He's a mental health, Your Honor.
All right, I do find probable cause for the offense of battery domestic violence. I'm going to appoint the services of the public defender. State, do you have any input from the victim?
No, Your Honor.
We'll waive the appearance as well, Your Honor.
All right, because he has a lot of domestic history, both in and out of the state, I'm going to set his bond at $2,000. He's to have no contact with the victim, maintain separate residence, one-time return to collect items, and surrender all weapons within 3 hours. No illegal drugs or alcohol. Henrico Feliciano, 2022 MM1243AO. Are you Mr. Feliciano?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Feliciano, you were arrested for an offense of battery domestic violence. It is a misdemeanor offense.
I didn't hear the last part you said, ma'am. I'm sorry.
It is a misdemeanor offense.
Sure.
Do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am. I've appointed one.
Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender.
Thank you.
You're to have no contact with the victim, Jessica Pagan. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return as long as you have a police officer accompanying you. You're not to possess any weapons. Weapons are to be surrendered within 3 hours of your release from jail. Your monetary bond is going to be set at $1,000.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Attorney assigned.
Is this the link? Oh. How do I do this? BRC meet. Do I send it?
Welcome to an Econo meeting. You are entering the meeting now.
Good morning. This is Judge Bigney addressing Neil Foshi. Do I have any attorneys online? What's the name of your attorney, Mr. Foshi?
I'm unaware my divorce attorney got counsel for me, and I do not, I'm unaware of the counsel's name.
You are the only participant.
It's not logged in. Got a number? Okay, let's pass on Mr. Foshi. The next person is Deshaun Jones. 2022 MM 12522AO. Good morning. Are you Mr. Jones? No. Mr. Jones, you were arrested for a charge of battery, domestic violence. Do you want a public defender to help you with your criminal case? No. You don't need a lawyer? All right. Ma'am, please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
And
Please
ma'am,
state your name for the record.
thank you.
Cynthia Dallas.
Ma'am, how do you know Mr. Jones?
That's my boyfriend.
And do you live together?
No.
Are you in fear of Mr. Jones?
No.
Do you want to have contact?
Yes.
And were drugs or alcohol involved in this incident?
No.
Do you know if Mr. Jones has any weapons?
He don't.
State, any questions?
Nothing from the state.
Defense, any questions?
We weren't appointed, Your Honor.
Oh, that's right, thank you.
No questions.
All right, I'm going to put you on straight pretrial release. You'll be processed out. You're to have no hostile contact with Cynthia Dallas. You're not to possess any weapons, and any weapons that you have must be surrendered to law enforcement within 3 hours of your release. Ms. Dallas, do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
Sir, do you have any questions for me?
No.
All right, thank you. Okay, we're going to switch back to Neil Foshi. Mr. Stewart, good morning. Can you hear me okay? I can't hear you. I think you're on mute. Counsel, I'm unable to hear you. Can you say something else? Nope, we still can't hear you, and I'm hoping you can hear me. Ms. Carestes, do you have Mr. Stewart's phone number?
I do. He just texted me, can you help me? So I think he might ask me to stand in. I'm just waiting for more information.
All right, can you ask him if he can hear me?
He can't hear you, Your Honor.
He
Give a
can?
thumbs up.
Okay. Sorry, it's behind me.
Okay.
I'll give you a moment to walk through that with Mr. Stewart. Stand by, Mr. Foshi. We're just going to figure this out because we're having some technical problems. But Ms. Carestes and we'll communicate with Mr. Jake Stewart. Just stand back, please. Let me know when you're ready, Mr. Stewart and Ms. Carestes, on the Foshi matter. Lindsay Miller is next. Lindsay Miller? Oh, thank you. 2022 MM 1263AO. Good morning. Are you Miss Miller? Miss Miller, you were arrested.
You are the only.
I'm sorry for the interruption. Miss Miller, you were arrested for a charge of battery. It is domestic violence. It is an act of dating violence. And I see that you live together. Do you need a public defender? That's a lawyer to help you with your charges?
We don't live together. No.
Okay, the paperwork says that you live together for 4 months, but do you
We've
want
been
to?
apart for 3 months, and I was giving him another chance, and
Okay, let me slow you down. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case? A public defender?
yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Ma'am, I'm going to set your bond at $500 in this case. I'm going to order that you have no contact with Edward Hogan. You must maintain a separate residence. You cannot go to where he lives or works. You cannot have any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 3 hours of your release. And you're not to possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs. There's a discrepancy based on her testimony, and
You ordered separate residences, is that correct?
I did.
So if she goes over with law enforcement and he's not there, is she able
She
to?
said she didn't live together, so I'm not doing a one-time return.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
2022 MM1261AO. That defendant's name is Michaela Rollins. Ms. Rollins, good morning.
Good morning.
Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I find probable cause. Sir, please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Matthew Marks.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Matthew Marks.
Mr. Marks, how do you know Ms. Rollins?
She is my girlfriend.
And do you live together?
No.
Are you in fear of Ms. Rollins?
No.
Do you want to have contact with her?
Yes.
Do you know if drugs or alcohol was a factor in this incident?
I was unaware if that's the case.
Do you know if she owns any weapons?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, Ms. Rollins, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 because you're not from this state to ensure your return for future court dates. You're to have no hostile contact with Mr. Marks. You're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to local law enforcement here or in Illinois. Good luck to you. Will you be able to afford the $1,000 bond?
Wait, I'm sorry. Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
You said she's not allowed to have contact with me? What
I
if I
said
want to
no
have
hostile
contact with her?
contact. No hostile means she can't do it. She can contact you.
Well, you said
and
hostile. I'm
communicate,
sorry.
but she can't do anything to harm, threaten, scare, or intimidate you.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
If you did, it would be a violation of a court order.
You are the only participant.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your question?
Yes, counsel.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you, sir. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
All right, Ms. Carestis, are you ready for me to address Mr. Foshi's matter?
I think Mr. Stewart signed it on a different computer and has audio now.
Mr. Stewart, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can, Your Honor.
And I can hear you as well.
I'm really sorry about those technical difficulties. I apologize. No matter what I do with all these audio visual IT people, I can't get it right. So I'm sorry, Your Honor.
It's okay. I'm glad we worked it out. So this is your client, Neil Foshi, appearance for the record on 2022 MM 1240AO.
Yes, Your Honor.
Appearance for the record, please.
Jacob Stewart, Your Honor, on behalf of the accused.
All right, sir, you were arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence. I do find that there's probable cause for this offense. State, have you had contact with Patricia Bowden?
No, Your Honor.
No, ma'am.
All right, I am familiar with some of your history. You are entitled to a monetary bond. Mr. Stewart, is $1,000 appropriate?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll go ahead and set your bond at $1,000. You're to have no contact with the victim or any witnesses. You must maintain a separate residence from the victim. I'll allow a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. You're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they must be surrendered to law enforcement within 3 hours of your release from jail. Sir, you also have some, based on your criminal history, you do have some reporting requirements. Today is Friday. You have one business day to follow up and check in with your offender reporting requirements. Mr. Stewart, anything else?
Your Honor, the only thing is that the alleged victim in the case and my client are going through a divorce right now. And the subject, my understanding is that Ms. Bowden, the home or location of where this happened, my client, Mr. Foshi, he actually owns the home, and that was part of the marital separation agreement. So Ms. Bowden doesn't return there. So in regards to the instructions from the court about the terms of his release, we would ask that he just be allowed to return to his home, but obviously have no contact or be at any place that reasonably expects Ms. Bowden would be at, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll just order maintain separate residence. State, are you in agreement with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, maintain separate residence.
Thank you, Your Honor, for your consideration.
Yes, and we're deleting the one-time return based on that. Thank you, Mr. Stewart. You can go ahead and disconnect.
Have a good weekend. Thank you, Your Honor. Bye-bye.
Thank you. The next person I'm addressing is Gabriel Rosado. Are you Mr. Rosado?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rosado, you're here for a misdemeanor offense for battery. I do find probable cause. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case? That's a lawyer.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. State any contact with the victim witness in this case.
No, Your Honor.
Defense counsel, do you want PTR or monetary?
I think straight PTR is reasonable, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to put you on straight pretrial release. You're to have no contact with Yadel Robles. You must maintain a separate residence. Were you living together?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you must maintain a separate residence. You can have no contact. That means you can't go to where the victim lives, works, or is known to frequent. And you're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do have any, they need to be surrendered within 3 hours of your release from jail. Good luck to you, Mr. Rosado.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next person I'm addressing is Glenn Ellis Smith, case number 2022 MM5AW. Good morning. Are you Mr. Smith? Yes. Mr. Smith, do you want a lawyer from the Public Defender's Office to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. I see that there was a motion to quash capias in this case filed by the PD's office on the 18th, but it was not heard yet. Do you want me to rely on that motion in setting bond? Defense
Your
counsel?
consideration, yes, Your Honor. I wasn't aware of the motion, though. But I would have you consider that, yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, it's my understanding he was in the Brevard County Jail. That's what the motion says. But with that, the issue, hold on a second. And I also have a signed violation of pretrial release. It is sworn to. While he was on pretrial release, it's alleged that he committed new law violations in Brevard County, which included burglary, resisting, criminal mischief, and simple assault. So you'll be held at no bond, sir. All previous conditions will remain in full force and effect.
Your Honor, I apologize. I have two case numbers, so when you say one is being held at no bond, can you give case numbers and bond amounts for each one?
The only case number I have is 2022 MM5AW. Oh, he does? Well, we're going to go ahead and strike through any monetary bond, and he'll be held at no bond as to all counts based on the new offenses.
Thank you.
So the failures to appear are now no bond status? Or are you staying those bonds amounts?
Everything is going to be held at no bond because he committed pretrial release after, that's why he failed to appear, because of his new law violations. Okay, I'm going to switch to out of counties. Can I see the affidavits on these?
Your Honor, are you appointing the public defender in the interim of the out-of-county cases?
If they want.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Kevin Conley refused.
Kevin Connolly, I'll appoint the public defender. His bond will be stayed at $513.
We'll waive the appearance as well, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. The next person I'm addressing is Philip Pursue. Okay, let's go ahead and do an AKA on that. Sir, you're here for warrants out of Palm Beach County. Would you like me to conditionally appoint the public defender to help you with your charges and your release conditions? I'll appoint the services of the public defender in the Ninth Circuit. You're here at no bond for all of the following charges. 2021-3845, 2 counts of violation of a domestic violence injunction, and 2022-835, 1 count of violation of a domestic violence injunction. You're to have no contact with the victim and abide by all conditions of your injunction. Yes. Alicia, Jorge Javier Alicea is next.
Yes, Your Honor.
2020 CF 5107AO. Sir, do you want a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
No, think I have a private attorney.
Excuse me, what did you say?
I said, don't think I have a private attorney.
You're going to hire your own attorney?
Yeah.
Give me a moment. Sir, you were placed on probation for felony possession of a weapon or ammunition, as well as possession of methamphetamines. It's alleged that while you were on probation, you tested positive for methamphetamine. You're being held at no bond status. Thank you, sir. Sir, what is your name?
Darren Michael Brown.
Mr. Brown, you have a number of cases. You are entitled to bonds. Actually, let me strike. Give me a moment. Your new law offense is a misdemeanor possession of cannabis in case number 2022 MM1221AO. I'll set that bond.
Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry. He's only here on the 2 violation and probation
Okay.
cases.
Thank you. You're here for 2 violations of probation. I believe you've already been seen on your other charges. Cases 2020 CF 7559 and 2011 CF 6717BO. You'll be held at no bond status.
2 counts of violation?
2 violations of probation. Your public defender can assist you with those cases. And you're at no bond. Next case is 2016 CF 3334AO. Can you start by telling me your name?
Joseph Feliciano.
Mr. Feliciano, you're here for a violation of drug probation. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges? You want a lawyer to help you with your case?
Yes.
You'll need to answer out loud.
Excuse me?
You'll need to answer out loud. Would you like a lawyer, yes or no?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. He's being held at no bond status. Defense counsel, would you like me to go over the allegations with him? Read or waive?
We'll waive, Your Honor.
Thank you. We'll enter denials. The next person is Request Hamilton. Good morning, Mr. Hamilton. You're here for case number 20, give me a moment, 2018 CF 7921AO. Do you want a public defender to help you with your violation of probation?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender to help you with your case. You're being held at no bond status for that violation of probation. I'll stay that bond. And you also have reporting requirements. So when you do get a bond and you are released, you need to comply with all reporting requirements within 1 business day. Thank you, sir. And defense, do you want me to waive reading?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next defendant I'm addressing is DeQuayne Pinney. Ms. Carestis, can you let corrections know who you have? And I'll try to work.
Yes, they know, it's Wesley Cole.
Okay, thank you. I remember seeing that case, I think, yesterday or sometime this week. Are you Mr. Pinney?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Pinney, good morning. You're here for a violation of probation in case 2018 CF 11126. Do you want a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I'll stay your bond. You'll be held at no bond. You do have reporting requirements, Mr. Pinney. Comply with them within 1 business day of your release. Next case number is 20. Am I doing just the VOP or the new law too?
You're doing just the VOP, Your Honor.
Okay. 2021 CF 5591AO. Sir, what's your name?
Alan Smith.
Mr. Smith, do you want a public defender to help you with your felony violation of probation?
Good question, because I was in here yesterday and I was told not to plea out for my trespassing so I could bond out. So I went to go bond out.
Okay, so they can explain what that means and their rationale for doing that. At this time, you're being held on the violation of probation. One of the conditions is that if you commit a new law violation, whether you plea out or not, it can be used against you to prove that.
May I speak with Mr. Smith as a friend of the court, Your Honor?
Your office was already appointed. He's held at no bond.
May I have a moment to confer then?
Yes. (2021) CF 9250 and 11577. Sir, are you Mr. Stanford? Come on up to the podium. Mr. Stanford, do you need a public defender to help you with your charges for your violation of probation?
I'd like one, yes, ma'am.
You want one? Yes? Okay, I'll appoint the public defender. You have 2 different felony cases that you're on probation for. Defense, do you want me to waive reading?
Yes, that's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll waive reading and stay the bond. You'll be held at no bond. Thank you, Mr. Stanford.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
on his case 11577, he has bonds of 1,000 on each count.
But he's no bond at the other?
Yes.
Thank you for clarifying that. I'll stay the $1,000 bonds and stay the no bond.
Okay, thank you.
Everything's stayed.
11577.
Thank you. Next case number is 2020 CF 9467AO. What is your name?
Joseph Travis.
Mr. Travis, good morning. You're here for a violation of probation for the underlying offense of grand theft. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case? That's a lawyer.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. You'll be held at no bond. Again, the underlying offense was grand theft. And the new charges are petty theft in Lake County. Thank you, Mr. Travis.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Yes. Good morning, sir. Can you start by telling me what your name is?
Good morning. My name is Jelani Kamal Willie Jones.
Sir, you're here in case number 2020 CT 17108W. Give me a moment to check something.
Yes, ma'am.
It looks like you're on probation for driving under the influence.
Property damage.
Do you need a public defender to help you with your violation of probation? Okay, I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Let me take a look at this. You do have a bond of $2,500, and it's alleged that you failed to comply with conditions of your probation, including failing to keep appointments, failing to pay your costs, failing to complete DUI counterattack school, failing to complete victim awareness panel, and not complying with the collections court program. Do you want an offer on his case?
No, Your Honor, but we will deny, so that we can get a court date.
Okay, I'll stay the bond at $2,500.
Can we enter a denial, Madam Clerk? Yes, of course.
I'm gonna give him a date, stand by.
Thank you.
DOP status, March 14th at 8:30, courtroom 4B.
Christopher Baker's next. Oh, that's afternoon already, right? The misdemeanor? Sure, we're gonna work, sorry about that. Wesley Adam Cole, 2021 CT 4500 AO. Appearance for the record in 21 CT 4500.
Allison Carestes for Mr. Cole.
Mr. Cole, please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Cole, you're here for the crime of reckless driving. Ms. Carestes, how are we resolving his case today?
At this time, Mr. Cole will enter a plea of no contest. He will be adjudicated guilty, receive credit time served, and court costs.
Madam, from corrections, where do we have his time served at?
Your Honor, I don't have that information.
87 days, so I'll sentence him to 60 with credit for 87.
Thank you.
Did you go over a plea form with Mr. Cole?
Yes, I did.
May I have the plea form? Mr. Cole, there's also a $25 mandatory fee. Any objection to that?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Carestes, are you okay with that?
Yes, that's fine, Judge.
Mr. Cole, you're here for a crime of reckless driving. Do you plead guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
And do you understand what no contest means?
Yes, it's in my best interest. I'm not pleading guilty or not guilty.
Did anybody force you to say no contest, Mr. Cole?
No.
Can you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, I can.
Have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, ma'am.
Did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand you will not have a trial in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you were on probation for any crimes at the time you committed this offense, by entering a plea, your probation terms would be violated?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
All right, at this time, I'll accept your plea of no contest. You're being adjudicated guilty, sentenced to 60 days with credit for 87 days. You'll be released on this charge. You owe your court costs plus a $25 fine no later than December 31st of 2022. Mr. Cole, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, I do not. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Carestes.
Thank you, Judge. This was on for non-jury trial on Monday mornings.
We'll go ahead and take it off docket.
Thank you.
Thank you, Allison.
December 31st of 2022. Okay, let me have the 33-day motions, please. people waiting. What case are they here? Is that a Mandarin interpreter? Okay, what's that person's name and can we get them? Okay. Let's take that. I just realized that we have. Can we move that up? Yeah. Mandarin. Okay. I was unaware of that move up, or that change. Okay, who's going to be interpreting from Mandarin to English and English to Mandarin?
I'm Christine Young. I'm their daughter. I'll be interpreting for them.
State any objection to her interpreting if I swear her in for these purposes?
No, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand, ma'am. Do you solemnly swear to interpret from English to Mandarin and Mandarin to English to the best of your abilities?
Yes.
And you do know both the defendant and the victim, is that correct?
Yes.
You can put your hand down, ma'am. And, thank you. Please, is this your father, Mike Young?
That is my father.
And please ask your mom to raise her right hand, I'll have her sworn in.
你的右手举起来。
Yes, please.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
你答应你说昨天说的话，正确的吗？说 yes。Yes。
Please state your name for the record.
那是渊马。渊马，哎呀。
Sir, Mr. Young, do you speak English?
I speak English and Mandarin.
Okay, are you comfortable with me talking to you in English?
Yes.
Do you want a lawyer? And everything I say, you need to interpret to your mom, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Oh, we do? Which line? We're gonna use this line. Thank you.
Your Honor, as this is from the second session, can you put the case number on record, please?
Sure, it's 2022 CF 20480, and this is pursuant to an arrest warrant. Ma'am, we're gonna have an official language interpreter put online.
Thank you.
Mr. Young, do you want a lawyer from the Public Defender's Office to help you with your criminal charges?
No.
Do you plan to hire your own attorney or represent yourself?
No.
Do you know what a lawyer does?
I know.
Okay. There's a chance that you may stay in jail with no way out until your next court date. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your
I
case?
can need a public lawyer to help me, but I don't have no private lawyer.
Okay, I'm going to appoint a public defender based on his statement. And I think with English as a second language, I'll follow the case law on that. Any luck with that? Thank you to say. PD's office, your office was appointed on totally unrelated.
Okay.
He did not have an interpreter. He has an exotic language, that's
Okay.
what he says.
Yes.
But he's communicating with others who are speaking Spanish.
Okay.
If we can't get that interpreter on, I'll hear from you, okay?
That's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Interpreter, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I do.
Do you solemnly swear to interpret from English to Spanish and strike that. English to Mandarin and Mandarin to English to the best of your abilities, so help you God.
I swear.
All right. I'm going to need you to speak loudly. Mr. Young, I'm going to have a lawyer help you with your case.
Okay.
Please interpret.
杨先生，现在有一位律师帮助您。
好的。
Okay.
You're here for a crime of sexual battery with force, as well as false imprisonment.
The interpreter apologizes. Can you repeat, ma'am?
You're here for a crime of sexual battery with deadly force.
今天对您的指控是性生活当中、性行为当中击打、用力击打。
You're also here for a crime of false imprisonment.
同时，还有一个指控是错误的拘禁。
I don't understand.
Your attorney will use one of their interpreters to also explain that to you.
您的律师会有一位翻译员帮助您做解释。
好的。
Okay.
Nancy, good morning. Do you and your husband live together? Please interpret.
Nancy, 您和您的丈夫是否住在一起？
是的。
Please answer
Yes.
loud enough. Are you in fear of him?
请您，
是的。
请您大声回答，您对
是的
他是不是感到惧怕？
是的。
Yes. Yes.
At this time, since probable cause has been found, I'm going to hold Mr. Young at no bond status.
因为找到了很有可能的理由，所以现在拘禁杨先生。
For the sexual battery.
原因是性生活当中的打。
And on the false imprisonment, your bond is $150.
关于错误的拘禁，罚款160块钱。
You're to have no contact, Mr. Young, with your daughter or wife.
杨先生不能够和女儿以及妻子有任何联系。
You cannot return to the house. You need to live separately.
您不能够回家，要自己单独居住。
Do not attempt to call them while you're in jail.
您在被拘禁的过程当中，不可以给他们打电话。
And you are not to own any weapons.
您不可以拥有任何武器。
Any weapons that you do own must be turned over to the police department.
如果您拥有任何武器，必须要交给警察。
Ma'am, do you or your daughter have any questions?
你有什么问题吗？
请问这位女士，您和您的女儿有任何问题吗？
I actually do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
While he's been in jail, he's tried to contact my brother as well. And he,
Okay, step up to the microphone.
we also have a brother. I have a younger brother.
How old is he?
He's 27. But my father also tries to remain in contact with him as well. I was wondering if he could be considered part of the no contact.
He's not a witness. Please explain and interpret, Madam Interpreter. Your brother is not a witness to this case.
Okay.
您的弟弟不是这个案例中的证人。
I cannot order that without hearing from him.
Okay.
Please
在没
interpret
有
that.
对弟弟进行听证的情况下，我不能够出任何的保护令，有关的保护令。
Okay.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
多谢您。
No time restraints. Yes. While we're waiting on language line, can I have the 33 days? Okay, we're gonna be waiting on language line. Sometimes it takes a couple minutes, so I'm gonna do 33 days in the meantime. (2022) CF 750AO. Defendant's name is Fernando Luis Sanchez Garcia. State, you want to be heard?
Granted, notice of non-filing.
I'll go ahead and grant that. Today's the 25th. And to say, just let me know, interrupt me when you have somebody online. 2022 CF 141AO. Defendant's name is Tyree Medell Jones.
Your Honor, can you tell me what the order says with regard to what date this should be granted?
The 27th, so over the weekend.
At this time, granted.
Okay, you don't. Granted, the information is not filed by this weekend. Next case is Michelle Jean Louis, case number 2022 CF 844AO, and that return date is tomorrow.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
After that, I have Lester Oliver Starling, 2022 CF 946AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
After that, I have Marvin Isaiah Hill, case number 2022 CF 896AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
All right, thank you. Stand by, we'll resume 33 days shortly. Let's go to the Portuguese interpreter. On record on 2022 CF 2203 AO. Madam Interpreter, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you clearly, yes. Good morning. And my name is Liz, and I'll assist as a Portuguese interpreter.
I'm going to have you swear that you're going to interpret from English to Spanish and Spanish to English to the best of your abilities, so help you God.
This is the interpreter speaking. Judge, I speak Portuguese. I'm not a Spanish
I'm sorry,
interpreter. So
my mistake. Do you solemnly swear to interpret from English to Portuguese and Portuguese to English to the best of your abilities, so help you God?
Yes.
Edison Firmino, do you want a lawyer to help you? Please interpret.
Edson Firmino, o senhor quer que advogado o represente?
Sim, eu assinei advogado público, né? E
Yes, I
aqui presente.
sign up.
There is a lawyer in the courtroom. His office will help you, but he does not speak Portuguese.
Okay. Tem advogado na sala, ele pode ajudar você, mas ele não fala português.
Mas para mim tudo bem. Eu falo um pouco de inglês, se ele puder me ajudar um pouco. E
Mento, ma'am, please interpret what
But sure, that's fine. I speak a little English, and if he can help me a little bit, then...
Okay. So you were arrested for aggravated assault with a weapon.
O senhor foi preso por assalto agravado com uma arma.
Also for tampering with a witness.
Também por mexer com a testemunha.
For aggravated battery.
Para espancamento agravado.
For aggravated battery with a weapon.
Por lidar com uma arma de forma agravada.
And battery.
E por espancamento.
I find probable cause.
Eu encontrei causa provável.
On count 1, your bond is $4,000.
Primeiro, da primeira acusação, a sua fiança é de $4.000.
Counts 2, 3, and 4 are $150.
As acusações 2, 3 e 4 são $150.
And finally, $100.
E, finalmente, $100.
You're to have no contact with Gabriela.
Você não deverá ter contato com a Gabriela.
You are not allowed to have any weapons.
Você não tem permissão para ter arma alguma.
You need to turn them to the police within 3 hours if you have them.
Você tem que entregá-las para a polícia dentro de 3 horas, se você as tem.
You must live separately from Gabriela and your family.
Você deverá viver separadamente da Gabriela e da sua família.
I'll allow a one-time return as long as you have a police officer.
This interpreter speaking, you cut off. I wasn't able to hear the last bit.
não entendi, desculpa.
Só um pouquinho, senhora, eu não entendi, seu Edson. This is the interpreter speaking. I wasn't able to hear the last piece, Judge. Would you please repeat? Hello, this is the interpreter speaking.
I understand that. I'm just
Can you
trying to
hear me?
figure.
One-time return with law enforcement.
You're to have a one-time return with law enforcement, so you can't go back there unless you have a police officer.
Então, você vai ter uma volta lá juntamente com um oficial de polícia.
Para pegar dinheiro para poder pagar.
So I can get some money and pay?
You have to post monetary bond first, using a friend, family, or bondsperson.
O senhor tem que, primeiro, o senhor tem que colocar uma fiança através de um amigo, um familiar ou uma pessoa que faz esses serviços.
Then when you're released, you call the police department.
Quando o senhor for liberado, o senhor chama o departamento de polícia.
They will tell you when and where to meet.
Eles vão dizer para o senhor onde e quando se encontrarem.
They will escort you to your home, so you have a short time to collect a bag of belongings.
Eles vão acompanhar o senhor até a casa e o senhor vai ter um período curto para coletar os seus pertences.
Thank you, sir.
Muito obrigada, senhor.
Your case is over.
Tem uma que
O seu caso já foi concluído.
Thank you.
Obrigada.
All right, you can disconnect, Madam Interpreter.
Sure. Thank you for using our services. Bye-bye.
Okay, let's try Spanish. CF 2147.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Alan Figueroa, State Certified Spanish Code Interpreter.
Can you please sound check the defendant?
The defendant can hear me, Your Honor.
I do need it. Sir, you were arrested for sexual battery on a child between 12 and 18. You're not to possess any alcohol or drugs or use them.
No.
You cannot go back to where this occurred, where you were living. You're to have no contact with anybody under the age of 18. You cannot contact the victim and her father. You'll remain in jail at no bond status. Your attorneys will communicate with you with an interpreter. Thank you, Mr. Cochilla.
Your Honor, can you advise the defendant that he has an immigration hold?
Based on your alien or immigration status, there is also a hold. Thank you for handing me that.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
You can disconnect, Madam, Mr. Interpreter. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor. You as well.
All right.
And Your Honor, just to confirm, you said the case number is 22 CF 2147?
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
12478O, defendant's name is Padilla.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Could you do a sound check on the microphone?
He can hear the interpreter. Yes.
Mr. Padilla, you were arrested for petty theft from Home Depot. I find probable cause. Based on your history, the offer is a conviction, a 5-day jail sentence.
Your Honor?
Yes?
The state would object. This is a case that is enhanceable. There are other petty thefts, and he has 2 prior.
Slow down, the interpreter.
Sorry.
La fiscal se opone a la oferta que la juez le está extendiendo porque este es un delito por el cual se puede recibir una sentencia más alta por el hecho que tiene 2 casos previos de hurto menor.
All right, so state objects, the offer, I cannot make an offer. Your bond is $500. Can you afford a $500 bond, Mr. Padilla?
No tengo quien firme.
I don't have someone to sign for me.
All right, I'll stay your bond at $500. Do you want a public defender, a lawyer to help you with your case?
Y si me doy culpable, no consigue tan cerca.
And if I were to plead guilty, I won't be able to get time served.
No, there's no offer on your case right now. No plea offer.
Ni los 5 días.
Not even the 5 days?
No, they're objecting to that. So I'll appoint a public defender, stay your bond at $500, no return to Home Depot, sir. Thank you. (2022) CT 345AW. Sir, you're here. Put the headset.
Póngase los audífonos, por favor.
Thank you. Sir, you're here in case 2022 CT 345AW. You were arrested for a charge of driving without a valid license. If you would like to resolve this case, the offer on it is a withhold plus court costs, and you would be released today. Mr. Shavara, do you want a public defender, a lawyer, to help you with your case?
I did speak with him as a friend of the court, Your Honor, if he's inclined to. Resolve today, I don't think we need to be appointed.
Sir, how do you plead to the crime of no valid driver's license, guilty or no contest?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea? Do you understand that, yes or no?
I understand.
Do you understand if you were on probation for any past crimes, by entering a plea today, your term of probation would be violated?
Yes, correct.
All right, I'll accept your plea. You'll be released today. I'll give you credit for time served. I'll withhold pay your court costs of $301 by December 31st of this year.
Ms. Davis, can you tell me what the credit time served is, please? Thank you.
Thank you. The next person is Marua. What is your name? What is your name?
Maruja Arotay Peterán.
Your case number is 2022 CF 2191AO. You were arrested for a grand theft with value of items between $750 and $5,000. I'm going to stay the bond at $2,000. You're going to have no return to the scene of the crime. Do you want a public defender, a lawyer, to help you with your case?
Sí. No, puro español, señorita. Señorita, lo que pasa es que yo soy turista, mami, y no conozco acá quién me puede apoyar para yo buscar un abogado. Sí estoy de
I
acuerdo
am
en
a
pagar mi fianza, sí quiero.
I am a tourist here, and I don't have anyone to support me to pay for an attorney. I can pay my bond.
Your bond is $2,000. Court appoint a lawyer. There is a $50 fee that will be attached to your final cost. Thank you.
Your Honor, I would ask that this defendant and the co-defendant surrender their passports.
I'm going to deny that request. You do need to appear for all future court dates. Thank you.
Perdón, doctorita, disculpe, mami. Esto voy a pagar mi visa, mi garantía, la fianza y voy a venir cuando usted me diga, mami.
Ma'am, I will pay my bond, and I will show up whenever you let me inform me that I have to come.
Thank you.
Perdón, doctorita, un minutito más. Pagando mi fianza, ¿puedo ir a mi casa? Sí.
Once I pay my bond, am I able to go back home to my country?
Yes, you are, but you do need to appear for court. Make arrangements through an attorney. Thank you.
Perdón, doctorita, la última.
Your lawyer can answer your questions. The next person is case 2022, CF 2193.
Buenas tardes, señor.
What is your name?
Buenas tardes, doctora. Raúl Hugo Huerta.
Sir, you were
Raúl Hugo Huerta.
I find probable cause for the charge of grand theft. I'll appoint a lawyer from the public defender's office to assist you. Your bond is $200. You cannot go back to those stores, and you must appear for all future court dates.
Your Honor, are you reducing the bond?
The bond's at $2,000.
Sí, señorita, me siento
No, I'm staying the bond. Sir, I can't give you legal.
señorita, doctora.
Go ahead, Your Honor.
I know you don't live in this country. You do need to appear for all future court dates. Your lawyer will arrange to communicate with you with a Spanish interpreter. I cannot give you any advice. Somebody needs to post your bond of $200, but that will not end your case. You must come back.
$2,000, Your Honor.
$2,000. I'm sorry,
Ya, doctora. Doctora, gracias. Yo me siento todo arrepentido, doctora. Gracias. Ya, doctora, gracias. Sí,
I am very sorry. I am a tourist.
Thank you, sir. No return.
No puedes regresar al lugar de los hechos.
Ok. Gracias, señorita.
Veronica Roman is next.
Yes, sí.
Ms. Roman, you were arrested for a crime of prostitution as a subsequent offender. Do you want a lawyer to help you with your case?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, may it be heard as to the count?
And I do not have probable cause on this case as a subsequent offender. Do you have anything, State?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection to me finding probable cause for a lesser included offense of prostitution?
No objection.
I'll modify bond to $500. Do you have the statute, somebody 796.07?
Yes, Your Honor. Prohibiting prostitution.
Hold on.
I have it on Westlaw. That's sufficient.
0.07 2E100? No, that's not right.
796.7.
It's still gonna be the same, it's just a different.
What? Thank you. Thank you. 2E100, correct. I'm going to set your bond at $500. State, do you want me to make a plea offer right now?
Yes, Your Honor.
You know what, I'm uncomfortable doing it with with it starting off as a CF case number, so I'm gonna decline to make an offer. Your bond is $500. Can you afford a $500 bond, Ms. Roman?
No.
No.
No tengo a nadie conmigo que me ayude.
I don't have anyone with me to help me.
How long have you lived in Orlando?
5 años.
5 years.
Okay, I'll put her on pretrial release. Straight pretrial release. No return to the mapping zone.
Your Honor, may the interpreter get a case number, please?
Apologize. 2022 CF 2020. I'm sorry, 2211AO.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Corrections, what's the time served on the next one, Melodin Lopez?
Yes, 4 days on each case.
4 days each case?
Mhm.
What is your name, please?
Milianet Lopez Alvarez. Milianet Lopez Alvarez.
Milianet Lopez Alvarez.
You're here for 2 different charges. You missed your court date for a charge of resisting officer without violence, as well as driving with license suspended. I'll have an attorney help you with these cases. In each of these cases, you have no bond on the resisting case and a $4,000 bond on the driving with license suspended. If you would like to resolve both of these cases,
I think there's a excuse me, Your Honor. Isn't there a $4,000 bond on the failure to appear?
yeah, it's on the DWLS.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said no bond.
It's no bond on the resisting. I would do a withhold time service to both. Would you like to accept that plea and be released on these 2 charges? You'll need to answer out loud.
Sí.
Yes.
How do you plead to the crime of driving with license suspended? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
Culpable.
Guilty.
How do you plead to the charge of resisting officer without violence? I'm sorry.
Culpable.
Guilty.
Do you understand if you were on probation when you committed these crimes, Ms. Alvarez? By pleading today, your probation would be violated.
Sí, yo nunca he estado en probatoria ni nada.
Yes, but I've never been on probation or anything like that.
If you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea to these charges. Do you understand that as well?
¿Qué significa deportación?
What does deportation mean?
Deportation means that if you're not a United States citizen, Department of Immigrations can remove you from the country.
Oh, no, sí, yo soy ciudadana, yo soy puertorriqueña.
Oh, yeah, I'm a citizen. I'm Puerto Rican.
Okay, I tell everybody the same thing. At this time, I'll withhold adjudication, give you credit for time served. I believe it's 4 days on each, is that correct? You owe court costs and your lawyer's fees. It's due no later than December 31st of 2022. You'll be released on these charges today. There may be a hold on you for Hillsborough County Jail or Osceola County Jail. Hillsborough, but is there also an Osceola? She is a felony. Okay.
No, yo acabo de llegar de Osceola. A mí me transfirieron del
Mm,
a mi cargo.
no, they just sent me from Osceola over here.
Thank you. You'll just the hold in Hillsborough County.
Tengo que esperar a que me transfieran, ¿cierto?
So I have to wait for them to transfer me, correct?
Ok, gracias. Buenas tardes.
Okay, thank you. You have a good afternoon. May I have a case number, Your Honor?
21 MM 4584AO. There we go.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes. Corrections, before we address Mr. Chen, what's his time served on his out on bonds? I think he has.
Your Honor, was that it for the Spanish interpreter?
Yes, thank you. Have a good weekend, ma'am.
You're welcome. You do the same. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we have a pending evaluation in our office with Mr. Chen, so we're not inclined to even accept an offer today.
In which case number?
I believe in the 2 out on bond cases. We're evaluating him in jail. That might be why he's been here for so long.
Did you explain a time, is he able to understand an admission and a time served offer? Because I don't see, in 8780, I don't see any evaluations or orders.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe the doctor hasn't talked to him yet. I worked it up this morning, and then I asked my associate to look at it as well, and we both came to the conclusion that the office had a pending evaluation, so.
So you're doing an internal, you didn't seek something through the court?
Oh,
correct?
yes, of course, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's what I was unclear of.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it was on the clerk's docket, no,
All right.
sorry.
Mr. Chen, good afternoon. You were arrested for loitering and prowling. I do find probable cause. Do you want a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case? I'm going to appoint a public defender. No return to the scene of the crime. Your bond is $500. You also have 2 cases that you're out on bond for charges of petty theft, trespass, and another petty theft charge. I'm revoking your bond and I'm holding you at no bond status. The next case is Christopher Baker. Mr. Baker, good afternoon. You're here for a charge of trespass on property after warning, case 22 MM 1258.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
offer from me is an adjudication, credit time served. You'd be released today, not allowed to return to the scene of the crime, and pay court costs. Would you like to accept that plea, Mr. Baker?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case?
I did speak with Mr. Baker as a friend of the court. I gave him a plea form to review and the anticipation of an offer. So I don't believe we need to be appointed this time.
All right. Mr. Baker, how do you plead to the charge of trespass after warning? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No content.
And did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand what it means?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you also understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and did you read and sign the plea form?
I signed it now.
All right, I'll accept your plea. You're adjudicated guilty, given credit for time served of 2 days. Pay your court costs by December 31st of this year. No return to the scene of the crime, and that concludes your case, Mr. Baker. Good luck to you.
Thank you. You have a great day, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. The next case is Tracy Barnes. Ms. Barnes, good afternoon. You're here for a charge of trespass on property. It occurred at Universal Studios. If you would like to resolve this case today, the offer is an adjudication, credit time served. You'd be released today. You can't go back to Universal Studios, and you owe court cost. Would you like to accept that plea offer?
Yeah.
Do you need any time to talk to a lawyer?
No.
How do you plead to the charge of trespass? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest then?
And did anybody force you to say no contest?
No force me. I don't really know what I really don't understand anything very well.
I have a moment to confer, Your Honor, as a friend of the court.
All right. Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yeah, I'm not from the U.S.
And do you understand that if you were on probation for any past crimes, when you committed this crime, by entering a plea, your probation would be violated? I'll go ahead and accept your plea of no contest. If you can agree to the terms on that paper, sign it. All right, Ms. Barnes, I see you signing in open court. I'll adjudicate you guilty. You'll be released on these charges. Pay your court costs by December 31st. You can't go back to Universal Studios. Are you Mr. Haynes?
Mr. Haynes refused, Your Honor.
All right, appoint a public defender, find probable cause. Are you waiving his appearance?
Can we have this reset for tomorrow,
I'm
Judge?
going to deny that request. It's his behavior.
We will waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Okay, stay the bond at $500. Anaya Johnson.
No help, Your Honor.
All right, I'll appoint a public defender. Any objection to resetting to tomorrow?
I believe if you just set bond today, that would be the same position we would have tomorrow, as she would otherwise qualify for pretrial diversion.
All right, stay the bond at $500.
We'll waive the appearance.
Thank you. Deshaun Jones.
May I have a moment to speak with Mr. Jones, Your Honor?
Okay, and I'm not
Well-
going to make an offer on this case because of his priors.
No need to confer then.
2022 MM1262. Mr. Jones, you're here for a charge of petty theft. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case? That's a lawyer.
Yeah.
I'll appoint a public defender. I'll hold your bond at, I'll stay your bond at $500. No return to the Chevron gas station.
Okay.
Thank you. Jasmine Lewis is next. Good afternoon, Ms. Lewis. You're here in case number 2022 MM1270AO. You're here for a charge of prostitution. I do find probable cause. If you would like to resolve this case today, the offer is an adjudication, credit time served. I need you to arrange for HIV, STD awareness, STD testing through health services at the jail. Once you get that done, you can be released. And you owe court costs, and as a condition of the court, you need to take an HIV, STD awareness class about sexually transmitted diseases.
May I have a moment to confer as a friend of the court, if not
Do you need
appointed?
an attorney? Let's see if she needs one.
You gotta tell her.
Yes.
You want an attorney? I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender.
A moment to confer, Your Honor.
What?
A second to confer.
Sure. All right, Counselor, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe, after speaking with our client, I believe she wishes to just bond out. We would request an ROR as a first time
She has
violation.
no ties to the community. She's listing an Arizona address. I'll modify bond to $500.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Travius Patrick.
Your Honor, I would ask that there be no return to the mapping zone.
She's staying at a hotel there is what I'm reading, so deny the request. Travarius Patrick. You're here in case number 2022 MM1265AO for a new charge of resisting officer without violence. You have a $500 bond. I do find probable cause. I'm inclined to take no action if you plea on that resisting officer without violence case, no action on the out on bond. Do you want to plea to the resisting officer without violence case? Do you want a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, I don't understand. A moment to confer, Your Honor. Or
Yes, he's out on bond on a DUI and a DWLS.
Are we appointed for the record?
He wants an attorney, so yes.
Do you want?
And I'll appoint an attorney on 2020 CF 12089 as well.
Your Honor, can you give Mr. Patrick the offer on the resisting officer without violence, the current charge? Again?
With adjudication time served.
And then you said you were inclined to not take any action on the out on bond case?
Correct.
Just keep up with it, all right? Is that something you want to do? All right, okay. Your Honor, I believe Mr. Patrick wishes to resolve today.
How do you plead to the charge of resisting officer without violence? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty? And did anybody force you to say no contest? No. Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medicine that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No.
In front of you is a plea form. If you've read it and agreed to the terms, please sign it.
Sign there. You sign there.
Sir, do you understand if you were on probation when you committed this crime yesterday, by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated? Yes. Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea? Yes. At this time, I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day time served. You owe court costs due December 31st of this year, and I'll take no action on the out on bond felonies. That concludes your case. We'll need some prints. The next case is Walter Perkins. Are you Mr. Perkins? Yes, ma'am. Mr. Perkins, you're here for misdemeanor charges of resisting officer without violence, as well as trespass. If you would like to resolve these cases today, the offer is a conviction. I would sentence you to 3 days with credit for 1 day time served. You'd be released tomorrow on these charges. Mr. Perkins, would you like to accept that offer? Yes, ma'am. How do you plead to the charge of resisting officer without violence? Counsel, I'm speaking to him.
No contest, ma'am.
And how do you plead to the charge of trespass?
No contest, ma'am.
And do you understand what no contest means?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Sir, do you understand if you were on probation at the time you committed these offenses, by entering a plea, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by pleading to these charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I saw you sign the plea form. Did you read it before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need any time to talk to a lawyer?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll do just what I said. I'll accept your plea. You're adjudicated, sentenced to 3 days with credit for 1 day. You owe your court cost of $279 payable by December 31st of this year, and no return to the scene of the crime. Do you have any questions, sir?
Oh, ma'am, thank you, God bless.
And there might be a warrant out of Pasco County that they're gonna make arrangements on for you, okay? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
The next person is, last name Ramos. Is that you?
Yes.
What's your first name? Mr. Ramos, you're here for, failure to provide identification as well as trespass on property other than a structure. If you want to resolve these cases, it would be a time-served sentence with a conviction plus court costs. Would you like to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I find probable cause. How do you plead to the charge of trespass? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
How do you plead to the charge of failure to provide ID?
No contest.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Sir, do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by pleading to this?
Yes, I understand.
Do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed these offenses, by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes.
I saw you sign that form in court. Did you read it before you signed it? Oh, I thought I saw you sign it. Go ahead and sign it if you've read it and agree to it. You did what?
Just reading the form.
You have like eyes in the back of your head. Mr. Ramos, do you need any time to speak with a lawyer about your case? No. Okay, I'll accept your plea. You're adjudicated guilty, sentenced to time served. In that case, is it 2 or 1? It's 2 days. No, 2 days or 1 day?
It's 1 day.
With 1 day time served, no return to the scene of the crime. Pay your court costs by December 31st of 2021.
Take care.
You're welcome, sir. Here's his plea form. Jude Siddle, what's your name?
Latiana Tessier.
Jude, find it, Johnny.
All right. Ma'am, you're here for a charge of prostitution. If you would like to accept the offer, my offer would be adjudication time served, and you have to get tested here before you're released, pay your court costs. You can't go to the prostitution mapping zone unless you have proof that you live there. That's that area of Orange Blossom Trail. Do you want to accept that plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you, how do you plead to the charge of prostitution? Guilty? Do you need any, how do you plead to the charge of prostitution? Guilty,
Well,
no
you're-
contest, or, I'm sorry.
Your Honor, as a friend of the court, I would advise her that she could qualify for pretrial diversion as well, which means they would drop the charges instead
I'll
of
give
pleading
her a
guilty.
moment. Okay, go ahead and take a moment to explain that to her.
Thank you.
Her bond is $500, and I find probable cause for the record.
You can do whatever you want. Just advise me. No, it's all the condition, the judge told you.
So either way, I'm stuck in here.
No, we let you out today.
Your Honor, can you give the case number, please?
22 MM 1271AO.
I got it. Receipts, everything.
Also enhanceable, which means if you
Oh,
do
sorry.
this one, it's gonna be stacking up. Just so you know.
Would she like to do diversion? Is that being offered?
No, she says she wants to accept the court's offer.
All right. You just spoke with her as a friend of the court, is that correct?
That's right, Your Honor.
Okay, ma'am, did you read the plea form?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and sign it if you agree to the terms.
You can read through it real quick.
Is that the same thing there?
Mhm.
Yeah, then
You know what, HIV, STD test can be done at jail. Just put that down. so they don't- Yes. How do you plead to the charge of prostitution? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
Guilty.
And has anybody forced you to say guilty?
No, ma'am.
And I saw you sign this. Do you understand we're not going to have a trial based on your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea today? If you were on probation for any past criminal acts, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated. Do you understand that too?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to accept your plea, find that you waived your right to counsel. You're being convicted. I'll release you today. You can get your HIV STD testing done here in jail. Do the HIV STD class within 60 days. No return to the mapping zone, and pay your court cost by December 31st of 2022. Do you have any questions for me, ma'am? All right, good luck to you. Yeah, 60 days of release. What's your name?
Douglas Thomas.
Mr. Thomas, you're here for misdemeanor case 2022 MM1259. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, I do.
I'll appoint a public defender. We do need an application. Sir, I find probable cause for the charge of battery, and your bond is $500. You're not to possess any weapons, and you're not to have any contact with the victim.
Take that with you.
The next person is Tatiana Vera. Give me a moment. 20.
We would just request a reset till tomorrow, Your Honor.
I thought your office was, their policy was not to reset.
Well, there is a standing offer for the trespass and the drug paraphernalia. Also, I believe they're represented by RCC in the out on bond case, so I wouldn't be able to resolve that case anyway.
All right, so I'll appoint the public defender. The court will make a finding that her appearance is waived. I'm going to stay both the bonds and on the out on bond in 2021 MM8629AO. I'm going to revoke her bond, but I'll give her new bond of $5,000. Thank you, counsel.
Your Honor, as you're waiving her appearance, that means it's not reset till tomorrow?
Correct.
Thank you.
The next person is Wayne Chenault. Are you Mr. Chenault?
Yes, ma'am.
You're here for open container or consumption of alcohol. The offer is a time-served offer. Do you want to accept that?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to the charge of open container of alcohol? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
Contest.
And did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Sir, there's a plea form in front of you. If you've read it and agree to it, go ahead and sign it. I'm just dropping the PD forms if you're saying no. Is that okay? I'm trying. You know I like to do 8 jobs. All right, I saw you sign it. Do you understand that if you were on probation as of yesterday, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Dempsey, Mr. Chenault, do you need any time to talk to a lawyer about your case?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I'm going to go ahead and adjudicate you guilty, find you waived your right to counsel, sentence you to time served of 2 days, and pay your court costs by December 31st of this year. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, your case is over. Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor?
Your Honor, I thought you said it was a time served offer. Would that be an adjudication or withhold?
I'm sorry, I did say adjudication. I'll withhold him. Yes?
Your Honor, these city cases generally don't have a case number, so if you could just say the case number.
Okay, good to know. 2022 MO222AO.
Thank you.
Sir, what's your name?
Jeffrey Allen Dempsey, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dempsey. You're here for a city case 2022 MO223AO. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. I do find probable cause. Your bond is $500. I'll give you a plea offer. It's an adjudication, credit, time served. Would you like to accept that?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to the charge of disorderly conduct?
No
Guilty?
contest.
And did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by plea?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Dempsey, if you were on probation for any past crimes when you committed this offense, your probation would be violated. Do you understand that? Thank you,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
I saw you sign this form. Did you read it before you signed it?
I can't read it, ma'am. I ain't got no glasses.
Okay, have you read one of these forms
ma'am.
recently?
Yeah, before, yeah.
Okay. Do you need any time to talk to a lawyer?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm adjudicating you guilty, giving you credit for time served of 2 days. You'll be released today. Pay your court costs by December 31st of 2022.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do you have any questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you, Mr. Dempsey. The next person is David Jervin.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jervin. You're here for a city ordinance violation for open container. You have a bond, it's $250. If you would like to plea, it's a conviction and a time-served offer. Would you
ma'am.
like to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to the charge of open
Plead no
container?
contest.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
I'll give you a moment to sign that. State in the meantime 22 MO224AO. Mr. Gervin, did you read that before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this offense by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need any time to speak with a lawyer from the public defender's office?
No, ma'am.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. You're adjudicated, given credit for time served. Pay your court costs by December 31st of this year.
Yes, ma'am.
You'll be released today. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Michael Henderson is next. Mr. Henderson, good afternoon. You're here for a charge of disorderly conduct. I do find that there's probable cause. You have a bond in the amount of $250. If you would like to accept a plea offer, it's a time-served offer. You'd be released today, and you will be convicted. Do you want to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to the charge of disorderly conduct? Guilty? No contest? All right. Did anybody force you to say no contest? Mr. Henderson, I'll give you a moment to sign the plea form. (2022) MO225 is the case number. I saw you sign the plea form. Did you read it before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this offense, by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
If you were, if you're not a United States citizen, do you understand you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I will accept your plea of no contest. I have your plea form that's been signed. You'll be adjudicated guilty, sentenced to time served, released today. Pay your court costs by December 31st of this year, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow my mouth, not his right. What is your name?
Reginald House.
Good afternoon, Mr. House. You're here for a camping violation. I find probable cause. Your bond is $250. If you want to accept a plea, it's a time-served offer with a conviction. Would you like to accept a plea?
Yes.
How do you plead to the charge of camping? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. I'll give you a moment to read and sign. 22 MO226AO. Sir, do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes.
And sir, do you also understand that if you were on probation when you committed this crime, by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes.
I saw you sign this plea form. Did you read it before you signed it?
Yes.
Do you need any time to talk to a public defender?
No.
All right, I'll find you waived your right to an attorney. I'll accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you, give you credit for time served, pay your court costs by December 31st of this year. Good luck to you, Mr. Housey.
Okay.
Terrence Lee's next. Good afternoon. Is your name Terrence Lee?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Lee, you're here for a charge of disorderly conduct. It's a city ordinance violation. I find probable cause. The bond is $250. If you would like to resolve this case today, I would convict you, release you today on a time-served sentence, and you have to pay your court costs. Would you like to accept that offer, Mr. Lee?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to the charge of disorderly conduct? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
Guilty.
And I'll give you a moment to look at that plea form, review it, and sign it.
Okay.
State this is 22 MO227.
Thank you.
Did you say that was a withhold, Judge?
No, that's an adjudication. Did you read it before you signed it, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you're on probation at the time you committed this offense, by pleading today, Mr. Lee, your probation would be violated? Do you understand that?
I'm on probation.
If you were on
Oh,
probation.
sorry, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need any time to talk to a public defender?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea. You're adjudicated, sentenced to time served. You owe court costs by December 31st of this year, and you'll be released today. Do you have any questions, Mr. Lee?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
No, thank you.
The next case is Erwin Orlando Bustamante. What's your name, sir? Michael. Give me just one moment. What happened to, please let me know if he bonded. Javier Martinez Toro? He bonded? What about, can I take that off?
Yeah.
What about Kayla Lynn Telecole? Did she bond?
bonded.
Okay. Sorry for the wait, Mr. Ramos. Mr. Ramos, you missed your court date for a charge of driving with license suspended in case number 2022 CT 101AO. Do you know if you have a lawyer already? Okay, so if you would like to resolve this case today, the offer is a time-served offer, but you would be convicted. I would release you today and give you until the last day of the year to pay court costs. Would you like to accept that plea?
Yes.
Sir, how do you plead to the crime of driving with license suspended with knowledge? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Sir, do you understand that if you're not, I'll give you a moment to sign the plea form. Actually, I'm going to reverse myself. I will give you a withhold on this case. Yeah, I'm going to do a withhold. Sir, did you read this paper before you signed it? You need to answer loud enough.
Yes.
To hear you. If you were on probation when you committed this crime, by entering a plea today, do you understand that your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes.
If you're not a United States citizen, do you understand that you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes.
Sir, what is not on this paper is that a driving with license suspended on your record can result in you being designated a habitual traffic offender if you keep committing crimes like this. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea on this case. Again, is that a plea of guilty or no contest?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. I'll withhold. You'll be released today. What's his time served?
2 days.
You have 2 days credit. Pay your court costs by December 31st. Right now, your license is D6 suspended on this case, plus some other things. I'm going to lift the suspension on this case. Why did you miss your court date?
I wasn't, I didn't go, I did not know.
You what?
I did not get the paperwork. I was not at my house that I was living at.
All right. I'm showing that you had it. So I'm going to waive the late fees on it as well, okay? But try to get a valid license. Good luck to you, Mr. Ramos. D6 clearance. What's your name?
And Destiny Bell.
Give me one moment. What happened to Corey Ward?
His behavior, Your Honor.
All right. Give me one moment, Miss Bell. 2021 CT 1661AO, that's Corey Ward. Mr. Ward already has a public defender. I'll stay his bond at $500. Are you waiving his appearance for the record?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Miss Bell, sorry for the wait. Miss Bell, you're here for a charge of prostitution as a third or subsequent offender. I only find probable cause based on the face sheet as to a misdemeanor offense. Any objection to me setting bond
No objection, Your Honor.
and finding PC as to the misdemeanor?
No objection.
Okay, so I'm just going over some technical stuff. I'm finding probable cause for a misdemeanor offense of trespass. The statute number is 796.072E sub 100.
Your Honor, you said trespass instead
I'm
of...
sorry, prostitution. It's a prostitution charge. Your bond is gonna be $500 in this case, or pretrial release if qualifies. Do you want a lawyer to help you with your case? A public defender?
I really don't know how it's supposed to go. Like, I just want to be helped out.
That's why I did pretrial release. Do
Your
you
Honor,
want-
she doesn't qualify for pretrial
Because
release.
she's out of Texas, right?
Yeah, she has 2 outstanding warrants.
Okay, strike the pretrial release. Do you want a lawyer to help you with your case? Because I can't ROR you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint a public defender. $500 bond. Are you Shonda Blake? Yes, ma'am. Miss Blake, I'm going to appoint a public defender based on your past cases. I see that you were found incompetent. I find probable cause for a felony offense of prostitution as a third or subsequent offender. I'm going to give you a new bond of $1,000 on that case, so that's a bond reduction. I'm also going to find that on all of her out on bond cases, or conditional release, that there was a violation, so she'll be held at no bond. Thank you, Ms. Blake. Your public defenders can assist you with that.
All cases, Your Honor?
What?
You're revoking on all cases?
Yes, sir. Is Adam Bradley present? Did he bond?
Bonded, Your Honor.
Thank you. Pass. What's your name, sir?
Barrett Brinson.
What is it?
Barrett Brinson.
Mr. Brinson, would you like a public defender to help you with your felony charges?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Case 2022 CF 21570. You're being held at no bond status for a home invasion robbery with a firearm. Probable cause has been found. State, are you seeking that I hold him at no bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, anything?
We would have you set a bond on this, but if you are inclined to set no bond, he is entitled to an Arthur hearing with his
Great.
attorney downtown.
I'll go ahead and hold him at no bond status. And you have to have no contact with the victim, no contact with any witness. You're not to possess any weapons, and no return to the scene of the crime. Good luck to you, Mr. Brinson.
Your Honor, I would also ask that he have no contact with the co-defendant, Devontae McCrae.
They're incarcerated, no bond, denied. Chad Rowe? Breaux, where is he?
Got a jail number?
Did he bond?
What's the booking number, Your Honor?
Booking number is 22004381.
He bonded.
Thank you. The next,
Aponte is medical.
who is,
Bruno Aponte.
all right, I find probable cause. I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I'll put him on pretrial release with the condition of no illegal drugs, subject to random testing within 30 days. Any objection to that, PD's office?
No, Your Honor, we'll waive the appearance as well.
So noted. Cooper, are you Miss Cooper?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry for the wait, ma'am.
It's fine.
You're here for a charge of prostitution as a third or subsequent offender. So I do find probable cause. I'm going to reduce your bond to $1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, in regards to the past defendant, Bruno Aponte, you said PTR with RUA.
Yes,
Was there any conditions ordered?
not to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs.
Okay, thank you.
And testing to begin at 30 days out.
Give us a call.
You too.
What's your name? Yeah. What?
Ms. Cooper's done.
Too many people. What's your name?
Tracy Coberhouse?
Mr. Culberhouse, you're here for a couple of different cases.
Yes, ma'am.
You're out on bond.
No, ma'am.
Wait, hold on a second. You're here pursuant to an arrest warrant in case number 21 CF 12190 for charges of burglary with assault or battery therein, as well as criminal mischief. Do you want a public defender to help you with those charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. State, are you asking that he be held at no bond on count one?
Yes, Your
and
Honor.
some bond on the latter?
Yes, he is entitled to bond on criminal mischief.
And defense counsel, do you want me to reserve your right for an Arthur hearing?
If you are not inclined to set bond, Your Honor, yes.
All right, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna hold him at no bond on count one, set bond at 150 on count two. Sir, you're also out on bond.
No, ma'am.
Hold on a second. Bond or you missed your court date for charges of no registration and no motorcycle license endorsement. Have you got your motorcycle license endorsement?
No, ma'am, because I haven't had any money and it's
So, sir, I was the judge who reset your case from December at the request of, and you missed your court date. So if you would like to resolve these cases, state any objection to plea to one, drop one.
No, Your Honor.
If you plead to having no motorcycle license endorsement, I will withhold, give you a time-served sentence. You'll owe court cost of $301, and I'll dismiss the no registration. Would you like to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
And what?
Are we appointed in those cases
No.
by chance?
Would you like to do that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's hand him a plea form. And I'll go over that too. Where did I miss that? I don't see them. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Thank you. Sir, how do you plead to the charge of no motorcycle license endorsement? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Did anybody force you to say guilty?
No, ma'am.
6-5? Sir, did you read this paper before you signed it?
No, ma'am.
You didn't read the plea form? Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions and I'm going to let you read it. If you were on probation when you committed the act of no motorcycle license endorsement, do you understand that your probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea.
Yes, ma'am.
I also want to talk to you again about the burglary charge that we discussed.
Yes, ma'am.
You're to have no contact with the victim. You're not to possess any weapons and not to have any return to the scene of the crime. I'm going to give you a moment to read this, officer. If you can stand against the wall, and we'll switch spots with the gentleman behind you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Clubberhouse. Are you Mr. Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Curry, you're here for two different charges. Case number 22 CF 2196 for possession of cocaine and possession of methamphetamines. I find probable cause. I'll stay both of those bonds, so your total bond in there is $1,150. You also have a charge for battery with one prior. You missed your court date. I'm going to stay the bond at $250. Do you need a public defender, Mr. Curry?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll appoint the public defender on the new charges. He does have conflict on Mr. Mills on the out on bond. Excuse me, on the failure to appear. So the public defender will help you with the felony. Thank you, Mr. Curry. Take your time, Mr. Culberhouse. We'll go to Mr. Dawson. ED's office, do you represent Dawson?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I got a yes from the clerks. Sir, you're here in felony case number 2021 CF 7255. You missed a court date for your charges for possession of Eluding, paraphernalia, and resisting officer without violence. You do have bonds. It's $250 plus $150 plus another $150 for a total of $550. Your public defender can assist you with these cases, these charges, and I'll stay your bond. Thank you, sir. Ready, Mr. Culverhouse? All right, go ahead and set aside the plea form so she can hand it to me. Have you had enough time to read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
And you previously signed it. Do you agree to the terms?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and accept your plea in the charge of no motorcycle license endorsement. I'll withhold adjudication, give you credit for time served, release you on that case, and I'll give you until December 31st to pay those court costs. The state didn't object, so I'm going to dismiss the case number 2020 CT 796480. That concludes your misdemeanor traffic cases. Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, can you give me the credit time served, please?
It's 2 days.
Thank you.
Jamal Dean, are you Mr. Dean? I am. Sir, you're here for felony charges as well as misdemeanor charges. The only one I'm addressing right now is case 21 CF 15337. You missed your court date for a charge of grand theft motor vehicle. You're going to be held at no bond on that case. Do you already have a lawyer?
I do. Ma'am, I didn't know that I had a court that day, honestly. I mean, I got,
Well, you'll need to speak with your public defender on their representation and what knowledge of you missing court was. Thank you. The next person is Troy Delva. State, I'm dealing with 22 CF 2187. Most of these have 3 counts. I see Officer Barbero, Officer Figueroa. Who's the third officer who was battered?
Your Honor, I believe actually case law indicates that for each incident, you can only charge 1 count of resisting without violence.
I'm talking about the battery and the law enforcement.
I did not, there's more than 1 battery on one of the officers. He hit one.
Hold on, let's slow down. Figueroa and Barbero were hit. One was hit with a bottle, one was hit with, allegedly, with the defendant's body. But where's the third battery coming from?
He spit on the, I think this is the one where he spit on the computer.
Okay, a computer's not a battery and a law enforcement officer.
Oh, no, this isn't the one where he spit on the officer.
Now, let's talk about the one for the right defendant, and his last name is Delva, first name Troy.
yes.
Hold on just a moment, sir.
I only see the 2 instances, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case, sir? That's a lawyer.
No.
You plan to represent yourself?
Yes.
And what's your argument on the resistings with and without? Just find one on one PC as to one?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. This is going to be a Sir, what's the highest grade that you finished in school?
I made it to the 9th grade.
Okay, and have you ever represented yourself, or do you have any legal training?
My first time.
Okay, so it's your first time. Are you sure you don't want to speak with an attorney? Because if you can't afford bond, nobody's going to be able to represent you.
No.
So you want a lawyer?
No.
Have you ever had any diagnosed learning disabilities?
No.
No. PD's office, I have concerns about his ability to represent himself, especially based on the face sheet and my communication. So I'm going to temporarily appoint the services of the public defender.
That's fine, Your Honor.
On battery, on a LEO count 1, I find probable cause. Stay the bond at 250. Battery count 2, I find probable cause. Stay the bond at 150. Count 3, no PC, ROR. Count 4, resisting officer without violence. Stay the bond, modify the bond to $100. Counts 3 and 4 are ROR. Count 7. I got it written down for you.
Okay.
Count 7, I find probable cause for resisting officer with violence. Modify the bond to 150, and counts 8 and 9 ROR. Ready?
Your Honor, just for clarification, you said count 1 was 250, it's a $2,500.
I'm transposing my numbers. It's 2,500, and I'm saying the bond.
Thank you.
Thank you for catching me on that. I think I'm losing my voice too.
Your Honor.
You said ROR, so that's what I was questioning. 'Cause I want to make sure the corrections have the same thing. So count 3 is ROR and count 4 is ROR.
Yes.
And then ROR on 5 and 6.
Okay.
150 on 7, and ROR on the last 2.
Your Honor, he also has the attempted burglary charge
We don't have that. Is that
on the
set for
same
tomorrow?
case number.
Yes, it is. It's number 10, Your Honor.
Can we bring?
Oh, there's another count on the second.
Thank you. On the attempted burglary, I'm going to set bond at $150, subsidiary bond.
We'll waive the rest of his appearance.
Thank you, counsel. Can you start by telling me what your name is?
Linda Edward.
Were you able to contact, I'm just seeing you on felony case 2022, CF 2163AO for charges of neglect of a child. I do find probable cause. Do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you are entitled to a monetary bond. I'm going to set bond at $3,000. You're to have no contact with anybody under the age of 18. You're not to possess any weapons. You need to comply with the investigation of Department of Children and Families. Your bond is $3,000. Good luck to you, Ms. Edward.
Thank you, ma'am.
Matthew Fallu? Good afternoon, Mr. Fallu. Do you need a public defender for your case?
I'm supposed to have a lawyer, but I guess he's not here today.
All right, you are entitled to a bond. Sir, you were arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm. Do you want a public defender, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. He will need an application. Based on the facts, I'm setting your bond at $5,000. You're to not possess any weapons. You're to have no contact with the victim. You must maintain a separate residence. Can't go where the victim lives, works, or is known to frequent. Do you have any questions, Mr. Fallu?
Oh, ma'am.
Felix Federowitz?
Yes, ma'am.
You're up next. Sir, you're here in case number 2021 CF 2940AO. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Do, ma'am.
I'm going to appoint the services of the public defender to assist you. I'm going to modify the bonds. Probable cause has been found. No return to the scene of the crime. On count 1, burglary of a structure, $2,500. On count 2, $150 for burglary. All remaining counts will be $150. You have 2 more counts of petty theft with 2 priors, and criminal mischief, 2 counts of that. Thank you, Mr. Federowitz. Sir, what's your name?
Arturo Fierro.
Mr. Fierro, you're here in case 2022 CT 2167AO. You're also already out on probation for another matter. Do you want me to appoint a public defender to help you with all these charges?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. In case number ending in 2167, you're here for purchase of cocaine and purchase of cannabis. On count 1, I'll stay the bond. On count 2, I'll reduce the bond to $150. Sir, in your felony violation of probation, which is case number 21 CF 796AO, I'm going to hold you at no bond. You'll have a public defender assist you with that as well. And when you are released after you get a bond, you have reporting requirements to comply with within 1 business day.
Your Honor, you stayed count 1. What was the bond amount? I'm sorry.
On count 1, it's $1,000, count 2, $150. the VOP. Corrections is the case number on the felony 2021 CF 796AO.
Yes.
I wrote it in, but my writing's bad. Are you Mr. Flores?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Flores, you're here for felony charges in case number 22 CF 2194AO. You have a $500,000 bond on count 1. I'll modify all remaining bonds. Count 2, $150, count 3, $150, count 4, $100. You're here for charges of possession or trafficking of MDMA, possession of a weapon by a convicted felon, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Sir, are you going to need a public defender for your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. PD's office, he also has a PD out on bond matter for no valid license. I can go ahead and do an adjudication time served off for that, on that.
We would just, that's just for traffic. Yeah. I believe our client wishes to resolve, Your Honor.
Is that okay, I'll go
I believe he
ahead.
wishes to resolve.
Mr.
I just have one moment to
Yes.
double check.
He still does not have a valid DL. What's his time served? Corrections? Thank you, ma'am. If he's not comfortable playing, I could just take action on it.
I'm just making sure that it's not going to conflict with any of our other attorneys' cases.
He has 1 day, Your Honor.
And what were the terms of the court's offer again, Your Honor?
Adjudication, 1 day time served plus court costs.
I need it.
Thank you. Sir, how do you plead to the offense of no valid driver's license?
No contest, ma'am.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
And are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, ma'am.
Did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
And I did see you sign it in open court. Do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this crime, by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea. Do you understand that as well, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm convicting you. You're getting credit time served, released on just the traffic offense, not the trafficking. You owe court costs by December 31st of 2022. And that will conclude your case, Mr. Flores. Are you Jamie Gardner?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gardner, good afternoon. You're here for felony case number 21 CF 3748BO. There's a habeas for charges of robbery as well as robbery with a deadly weapon. State, do you want to be heard on bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Count 2, robbery with a deadly weapon is punishable by life. I ask defendant be held no bond.
All right, do you need a public defender? The state is asking that you be held at no bond.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the service of the public defender. What says defense?
We would have you set a bond in this case, but if the court is not inclined to, we would still reserve the Arthur hearing downtown.
I'll go ahead and he'll reserve his right to Arthur hearing. He'll be held at no bond on count 2. You're not to possess any weapons. On count one, you are entitled to a bond, so I'll set that at $15,000. Thank you, Mr. Gardner.
ma'am.
Sabrina Kimball? 2020 CF 13623 23AO.
You refused, Your Honor?
She missed her court date. She has a public defender. These are for charges of cocaine. She'll be held at no bond.
We'll waive the appearance today as well.
Thank you, thank you. Devontae McCray, are you Mr. McCray? I'm well, thank you. Mr. McCray, you're here for felony charges. 22 CF 2158 is the case number. One of these is a punishable by life offense. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender. You're here for attempted felony murder, home invasion robbery with a firearm, as well as aggravated battery with a firearm. State, are you asking that he be held at no bond on count two?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, I'll reserve your right to an Arthur hearing.
Yes, unless you're inclined to set bond.
I'll deny that request. On count one, you're entitled to a bond. I'm setting that bond at $10,000. On count two, you'll be held at no bond status. And on count three, that bond is going to be set at $5,000. And you're to have no contact with the victim, co-defendants, or witnesses, even from jail. And you're not to possess any weapons. Thank you, Mr. McCray. You're welcome, sir.
Aaron Merritt's behavior.
Aaron Merritt's behavior, okay. So defendant has a burglary charge. He has a public defender in case number 19, CF 14015. He's being held at no bond. If he doesn't have a PD, I'll waive his, all point one. What says defense?
We'll waive his appearance today, Your Honor.
Thank you. What happened to Salvador Medina?
Bonded, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Here's both of these. Are you Joaz Michel? Sir, you're here for new charges. The case number is 2022 CF 1902AO. You're here for aggravated fleeing and attempting to elude a police officer. You are entitled to a bond, as well as criminal mischief. Probable cause has been found. On count one, I'm going to set your bond at $7,500. On the criminal mischief, your bond is $150. Do you want a public defender to help you with these charges?
No, ma'am, I have a lawyer.
Okay, so let your lawyer know that you also have a felony violation of probation. That case number is 2020 CF 937BO. You'll be held at no bond. Are you sure you don't want a public defender? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Antonio Montgomery's next. Corrections, any idea what amount he bonded at? Because there was a bond correction form. Oh well, he bonded. The next person is Shanace Mitchell. Did I pronounce that right, Ms. Mitchell? You're here for felony charges. The case number is 2022 CF 2221. The officers are alleging that you're a subsequent offender for the charge of prostitution. Corrections, can I see your sheet?
Your Honor, may I be heard on record as to my objections on? Yes, of course.
Yes, you can be heard, but I need to defend it. Last name Mitchell?
What's our booking number?
Booking number is 2200 4384.
Your Honor, to save time, the state has no objection to a probable cause finding of just misdemeanor prostitution.
Okay. She does qualify for pretrial release too. She does, even though she has a Texas address? Corrections? Is that
She gave us a, Orlando address.
okay? Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case? I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I'll find probable cause for a lesser included offense of prostitution, ending in code 100. The public defender's office will assist you with this case. I'm gonna put you on straight pretrial release. You're not to possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs, and you're not to go to the prostitution mapping zone. Is the address she provided in the zone?
She gave us 440 West Oak Ridge Road.
Okay, so you can go through that area just to get back and forth to your home, but you can't be walking the streets over there, okay? Good luck to you, ma'am. Yes, thank you for that. That one was a tricky one for me. Is 2020 CF 9370B. Oh. I'll just double check myself. Yes. Good morning, ma'am. Can you start by, good afternoon, rather. Can you tell me what your name is?
Yes, ma'am. It's Carson Lee Nichols.
Okay, you're here for felony charges, case number 2022 CF 2190AO for charges of possession of heroin and possession of cocaine. And you also have a second set of felony charges, again, for possession of heroin and cocaine. Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to appoint the public defender, and I'm going to reduce some of your bonds.
Thank you, ma'am.
For possession of heroin, each of those bonds will remain set at $1,000. Count 2 will be modified to $150.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
What happened to Joanne Murick? I have a number if you need it. Okay, thank you. Lafette Orman? Did I pronounce that correctly?
No.
Okay, you're here in case number 2022 CF 1859 for charges of burglary of a conveyance, dealing in stolen property, and violation of a pawnbroker act. Probable cause was found. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll appoint a public defender. On count 1, I'll stay the bond. On counts 2 and 3, I'll modify to $150. Good luck to you, sir.
What was the bond amount on count 1? I'm sorry, Your Honor.
I'm staying it,
What was the amount?
$3,500.
Thank you.
And there's also a condition on that. You're to have no contact with the victim, no return to the scene of the offense, and no return to any pawn shop. Alexander Ortiz is next. Are you Mr. Ortiz? Mr. Ortiz, you're here for charges of burglary of a conveyance and petty theft. You have bonds. I'm going to state the bond amounts. Your total bond is $3,600. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
At this point, that's okay, Your Honor. I'll go.
Mr. Ortiz, what's the highest grade that you finished in school?
I have some college.
Okay, you just seem a little disoriented, or you're muttering a little bit with your words. Are you feeling okay, and do you understand what's going on?
Not really, but yeah, I do.
Okay,
I was just wondering, is
Sir, are you sure you don't want me to have a lawyer help you with your case in case you can't afford bond? They can file paperwork and request release on your behalf and advocate for you?
no.
Okay,
Under the admin order, Your Honor, you can't appoint us temporarily.
yeah, I know.
But
But on a mental health issue, I'm gonna go ahead and overstep on that. a bit. I do have more concerns about mental health issues. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. If you can't afford your bond, if nobody bonds you out, I'm gonna have you come back to court. I'm gonna do a determination of counsel. I know, they don't like that either. On March 1st. If you haven't bonded out, it'll give you a chance to rethink whether or not you need an attorney. Court has concerns about mental health, so I set for determination of counsel. Thank you, counsel.
Your Honor, if he is able to bond out, I would ask that he not be able to return to the scene of the incident.
No return to the View Apartments. Sir, what's your name?
John Pemberton.
What happened to Ortiz? Okay, thank you. Mr. Pemberton, sorry for the wait. You missed your court date for felony cocaine charges.
Yes, ma'am.
You're being held at no bond. Do you already have a lawyer from the Public Defender's Office?
Yes.
Okay, they'll continue to assist you with your case. Good luck to you, Mr. Pemberton. The next person is Raul Reyes Vasquez. Sir, what's your name?
Raul Reyes.
You're here for Orange County case number 2022 CF2100AO for robbery with threat of a weapon. Your bond in that case is $15,000. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint a public defender. You're to have no contact with the victim, witnesses, nor are you to possess any weapons, and you are not to return to the scene of the crime. Even if you postpone, there is a hold on you out of Miami-Dade County. You're being held at no bond for 3 different cases. Your public defender can work with you on that. Good luck to you, sir. Corwin Robinson is next. After that is Sierra Robinson. Thank you. Hold on a second. Your name, please?
Sierra Robinson.
Miss Robinson, you're here for felony charges of fleeing and attempting to elude with lights and sirens activated. You also have a charge for driving with license suspended. You're already out on bond in case number 21 CF8480AO. State she's on PTD. Do you want me to, what's your position on the out on bond? The case has been abated in circuit court.
At this time, Your Honor, I would ask that you do, you take no action. I'll let the ASA in that division handle any repercussions.
Do you want a public defender to help you with your new charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the public defender. Defense, do you want to be heard on count 1 bond? She's entitled to one. Actually, they gave her a bond. They shouldn't have, but are you okay with $3,500?
That's acceptable, Your Honor.
And I'll stay the bonds on both of those. Usually they come in at no bond. Tracy Robinson is next.
Your Honor, what are you doing with regard to the out on bond?
No actioning it.
I'm sorry, what was the last?
No action. On the next case, Robinson, I do have PC for the subsequent offense. What's your name?
Robinson Tracy.
You're here for felony prostitution charges for prostitution as a third or subsequent offender. Do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case? You'll need to answer out loud.
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender I find probable cause. I'll reduce bond to $1,000. No return to the prostitution mapping zone. Thank you, Tracy. Joel Rodriguez. Let me know if the defendant. What's your name, sir?
Joel Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez, you're here for a charge of driving with license suspended as a habitual offender. Do you need a public defender to help you with your new charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint a public defender. I'll stay the bond because I find probable cause. Your bond is $2,500. You're also already out on release conditions in case 2019, CF 16567. In that case, I'm going to revoke your release and you'll be held at no bond.
Your Honor, would you be inclined to set a bond? The notes in our, he has a plea hearing on March 8th.
I'll deny your request based on the history and the totality of his record and the new allegations.
Yeah, but then if I bond out of this, it don't matter.
All right. The next person I'm addressing is Justin Rodriguez.
Stop it.
Good afternoon. Are you Justin? Everything okay? All right.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Give me just a moment. Mr. Rodriguez, you're here for new charges in case number 2022 CF 1015. Do you need a public defender to help you with your burglary and grand theft charges?
Yes, I do.
Okay, probable cause has been found. I'm going to stay the bonds. And there may be a hold for possible probation issues on your Osceola County case, but I'll take no action on that. Thank you. Veronica Roman is next. Osceola case ends in, I think it's 2020, 757.
Is she doing an on view?
No, I'm not doing it. I'm taking no action because I don't know the date of the offense.
Yeah, I think it's 20.
And then there's 21 03070. That makes some sense. I'll circle them. All right, thank you. What's your name, sir?
Kyle Ruick.
Sir, you're here for a charge of possession of fentanyl and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to stay the bond on count 1, modify the bond on count 2 to $100 for a total of $1,100. Mr. Rue, do you want a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes, sir.
I'll go ahead and appoint them. Brian Sanchez is next. What about Vanessa Santiago? Are you Vanessa Santiago?
Yes, I am.
Ma'am, you're here for a charge of battery on a law enforcement officer. Case number 2022, CF 2162. I find probable cause for the offense.
Because I was close.
No, you don't need to talk about it.
Counsel, she had competency issues in Baker County about 5 years ago, so I'm going to appoint a lawyer to help you with your case. I'll put you on mental health PTR if qualifies. Otherwise, I'll reduce your bond to $1,000.
I'm already PTR because I was here already with mental health issues.
So that, Your Honor, to clarify that bond or mental health PTI if she doesn't
Yes.
bond out.
I tried to, but nobody would let me use the phone.
The next person is Bobby Sims.
This will help, Your Honor.
Bobby Sims, he has a public defender on his 2 out on bond cases for MDMA, ecstasy, felony possession of a firearm, and discharge of a firearm. Do you have those case numbers already, defense? He has a PD in 22 CF 1913 and 2022 CF 190680.
I do have those case numbers, Your Honor.
All right. On both of those cases, based on the probable cause in 2022 CF 2183, I'm revoking his release and holding him at no bond. In case number 2022 CF 2183, I find probable cause. I'll appoint the services of the public defender and stay those bonds.
Waive his appearance as well.
Oh, the, what, 8-4, and the robbery, son, and snatching. I find probable cause on that, and I'll stay that bond as well. And his appearance is waived. Thank you. Sorry for the wait. Can you tell me what your name is, sir?
Roderick Thomas.
Mr. Thomas, good afternoon. You're here in case number 2022 CF 2134. This is an add-on case for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, as well as possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. Do you want a public defender to help you with your case? I'm going to appoint the public defender services. On count 1, I'll stay the bond at $7,500. On count 2, I'll modify it to $150. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Chris Wade is next. Mr. Wade, do you already have a public defender for your controlled substance case?
Ma'am.
Okay, they'll stay on your case. You're here in case number 2020 CF 769780. You're being held at no bond because you missed your court date. The next person is Andrew Ware. Thank you. Are you Mr. Ware?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ware, do you want a public defender for your new charges?
Sure.
I'll appoint the public defender. In 2022 CF 2192, you were arrested for criminal mischief with damage over $1,000,
Yes, ma'am.
as well as battery. And I'm going to modify the bond on the criminal mischief to $150, stay the bond on the battery. You're to have no contact with the victim, no return to the scene of the crime, and you're not to possess any weapons. Your total bond is $650.
Hey, I was wondering about the battery charge because I didn't hit anybody.
I find probable cause. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
The next person is Vontavious Williams. You're already out on bond, Mr. Williams, and you have a public defender in case number 2020 CF 7315 and 21 CF 8683AO. I'm going to revoke your release and hold you at no bond on all of those charges based on my finding of probable cause in case 22 CF 2198. You were arrested for a new count, charges of possession of MDMA and possession of cannabis. Do you need a public defender for the new charges? I'm sorry, I can't hear you, sir. I'll appoint the public defender and I'll stay those bonds. Kareem Young is next. Thank you. This one's funny. Sir, what's your name?
Kareem Young.
Mr. Young, I'll be addressing several cases with new charges. Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're here for a new offense, 2022 CF 2189, grand theft motor vehicle. I find probable cause, and I'll stay your bond at $1,000. You also have a second case, 2022 CT 112AO for no valid driver's license. I find probable cause. I'll modify that bond to $100. Does everybody have a 2188? Hold on a second. A 2188?
Yes, that was the first case that you just said, at 1,000.
No, I thought I had that for the grand theft.
The grand theft?
89 is the grand theft.
Yes, 89.
What about 88?
88 is the possession of cocaine.
I didn't see the affidavit.
It's here. It's behind the album bond.
Thank you. I missed that one. Give me a moment, sir. Sir, I also find probable cause for the felony charge of possession of cocaine. I'll modify your bond on that case to $150. Sir, you're already out on release in felony case number 21 CF 1205080. So I'm going to revoke your bond release and hold you at no bond. Yes, that's only when I state. Anything else?
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.